Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map Naval Conquests. I'm starting in the top right position, playing as the Allies. So this is a 3v3 match. There's going to be 2 matches in this video, and this is the first match. And it was random teams. Team matches have been put together with another person. This was just randomly, and I've been put with Take You Down, I think it is, and another player, Vomit Bag. And for those of you who don't know this map, Naval Conquest, as the name suggests, there's a lot of water, and there's 4 islands around the outside, which are not connected, and then there's a mainland in the middle. Now, because there's like 6 players, there'll be at least 2 players starting in the mainland. So we have to take that into account, and what I'm going to be doing is just taking some infantry over there just to do a little bit of scouting and see where the other players are, because what's very important is I know where other players are. So if I want to go to the mainland with an MCV, I know where a sensible place to go with it is. I don't want to like deploy it right next to another person's base. So right now I'm doing like, it's a little bit like different to the order I would normally do, because I don't know where the other players are, because it was random positions. I am getting a service depot out, though, so I can build that MCV and hopefully get it deployed quite soon. Thankfully though, one of our teammates has been getting some of the area uncovered on the map. However, it doesn't look like he's got much of the top area covered, so I don't know if there's going to be an enemy base at the top of the map, which might make it harder for me to get my MCV deployed. But we can see those yellow troops going there, so he is getting some of that uncovered. Because the more of the map we have uncovered, the better it is going to be for me to be able to see where I'm going to be able to deploy. And just going through my normal process. But there we can see that Matthias is in the top middle of the map. So I'm going to have to be very careful where I deploy this MCV. I'm also going to just get a large power plant, make sure I've got plenty of power.
Construction complete.
And just having to think about what I should do at the moment. I'll get a radar dome out nice and early because it's a multiplayer game, so I'm going to need to sort of be able to see what's going on like with my teammates. And I'm also just getting some tanks out just to take with that MCV, because obviously I'm going to need to be able to defend it when I get it deployed initially.
On hold.
I'm also getting a war factory as the first thing I'm going to place, so I can start building tanks in that location as soon as I get down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down into that position. Unfortunately, it looks like Matthias is already there, so we're going to have to look for another location. And we're going to go a bit further down, but now we can see that yellow is coming in with those tanks. I'm actually probably going to be a decent position. I'll probably go here at the bottom of the patch instead, so I can go and help yellow as well. So we've got our tanks in there, and now we're setting our tanks up with yellow, and we're going to be able to take out that that outer base that Matthias has been able to build. So that's an MCV down, and also an ore refinery, so obviously hampering his economy. And now we're going to be getting more tanks out, and we're getting more tanks on this mainland. And now we can really go for Matthias's base. We can see that yellow is there as well, Take You Down. And we're just going to give him some support here. And I'm going to build some ore refineries and start getting an economy going. And while Matthias is dealing with yellow, I'm going to take out some of his ore trucks down here. So that's one ore truck down. And there you can see those pink tanks having to go back and try and take care of those tanks. We've also got some naval units. So we're going to be able to those are going to help us. And now Matthias getting up the Tesla coil. And those Tesla coils just do so much damage against tanks, it's going to be harder for us to push in. But we are managing to take it out quite a few of those tanks. And you can see those ore trucks now sort of like unprotected. So we've taken out 2 ore trucks already. And it looks like we're going to be able to take out a 3rd one. So that's going to really hurt his economy. And it's going to give us a good advantage, because our economy is going quite strong right at the moment. And it looks to be like it's going well so far. I'm just going a bit down as well, just to have a look there, because we can see that blue has an MCV there. And hopefully we're going to be able to destroy that, because it's on the run now, but I don't think it's going to be able to get away from our tanks. We're going to have to keep an eye though on the top though and see, because Matthias is obviously there. But that MCV is going to go down, and now we're going to be able to take out that ore refinery. I'm just going to need to be a bit careful. I'm also going to get tech center now, and that ore refinery does go down, and we can see those pink tanks now grouping up at the other side of that gap. But hopefully I am going to be okay. But we can see those blue tanks going into yellow's base, and yellow is in big trouble. The problem is I've got pink at the top of the map, but I'm going to have to come back and help yellow anyway, because if yellow gets out of the game, that's going to put us in a real bad position. And trying to let that MCV through the unit, unfortunately I've sort of blocked it in, but I mean, those blue tanks were going to be chasing it anyway, so it would have gone down anyway. And now those blue tanks are getting destroyed though, and and that's quite a lot of tanks to lose. So at least yellow's got like the better tank numbers now, and I'm going to have to go back to the top of the map because I'm going to have to fight possibly against Matthias if he decides to go for my base. But now you can see that Cyan is also in the middle island as well. I'm just getting some gap generators up now that I've got a tech center just to hide my base from other players. And getting another gap generator there. I'm just going to have to see. I'm going to have to be careful about power. But now we're going for against pink. And we can see that he's got another raw truck there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build some naval units in the middle of the map and try and that'll just give us quite a bit of support and help us keep control of the middle map section of the map. But now we're trying to take our tanks in, and we're not doing as well as I thought we'd do actually. And I'm going to have to pull back here because our tank numbers aren't that dominant. And I think it's because of that bottleneck, because he was in that bottleneck, he's sort of been able to sort of like defend, and it's worked quite well. But now I've got the cruisers with me, and now you see Matthias is going to have to pull back. I'm also bringing my medium tanks in, and he's pulling back to his base. I guess his tanks are also heavy tanks as well, so they are a bit stronger. And as he pulls his tanks back to his base, that's going to allow us once again to destroy one of his ore trucks, so that our truck going down. And now I'm just having a bit of a look at that Tesla coil. Hopefully we'll be able to destroy it quite quickly, because as I say, they do pack a punch. We just need to get rid of it as soon as possible. And it's down. Now we'll have to try and use our naval units and our tank reinforcements to try and take out pink. And yeah, you can just see those tanks on low HP, and those cruisers do quite a lot of damage at close range. And although we don't have many tanks there, we are managing to whittle down those tank numbers as we get more cruisers involved. I'm also thinking a little bit about expansion because my ore funds are quite low at the moment. I'm still building like some navy, I'm building some tanks, and now that Cyan is attacking on Pink's base and he's managed to take out some of those major buildings and those last remaining tanks. I'm also going to bring my cruisers up there. I found some tanks actually at the top of the map. They must have got stuck there when I was trying to select all, but they couldn't find the way to where I wanted them to. And now we can see that Pink is down to one last war factory. Ore truck coming out of there. What we're going to do though is we're going to get our cruisers up, and we're going to be able to take out some of those major buildings. So try to take out that war factory first of all. It's almost down, one more hit, and it goes down. And now we'll try and take out the construction yard, and that'll mean he's pretty much out of the game, and now goes down the barracks. And yeah, he's now he can't produce any units at all. He's also lost his economy, so now we can focus on other players and just see what we need to do in other parts of the map. But our teammate Yellow has now been destroyed, and we'll have to see how we're doing elsewhere. I can see movement on the left side of the map, and Cyan is there, and I have to see, I think Blue might be fighting over there, so I'll have to go and check it out. And we can also see Red there getting an MCV down in the middle of the map, so we're going to have to try and get that down as quickly as possible. So I'll take my tanks down there, destroy that. That was where Blue tried to establish himself. But Red does have some navy, so that's a bit annoying. I'm also taking those cruisers right into the middle of the map to try and do some major damage if anyone tries to sort of establish themselves there. But yeah, those cruisers need to go down, because now we can see that Red has also got a ore refinery. But now Blue is coming in with more naval units, and this is making it difficult for us. And Blue has got established in the bottom middle part of the map, so that's going to be out of the range of my cruisers, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to get there. We're taking out a couple of ore trucks there, so that was a couple of good kills, hampering Blue's economy. And what I'll do is I'll go down to that bottom part, because I don't know if he'll have it well defended. And now we can see that red is starting to get established. He's trying to get a navy in that middle of the map, but we've destroyed his naval yard. And what we'll do is we'll try and destroy that cruiser that he's got there. Because what we don't want is we don't want another naval battle over here. We want to be dominant in this position. And now you can see that cruiser. When you're fighting with cruisers, by the way, you do have to use force fire to fire on other cruisers. And now we've taken out that ore refinery. And now we're going to try and take out that construction yard. Let's see if we can get it down. And what you can see what I'm doing is I'm force firing just in front, because usually the bullets overshoot a little bit. And it should be one more volley and it goes down. And yet again, another naval yard. We managed to destroy it before it was able to produce any units. So that's red wiped out from the bottom right position of the main island. And just having a bit of a look around there, you can see there's some cyan boats coming around. And we can see that, like, Teeth started obviously in the bottom left-hand corner, and red started in the bottom right-hand corner. And yet another ore truck there. We're going to be able to destroy that, so we're just going to try and take, like, whittle down the economy as much as we can. And now we can see that cyan is coming in with some naval units around that bottom left island. I will have to see, is cyan going to be able to damage that base? He's got quite a lot of destroyers there as well, which are going to be able to help take out those tanks. I've just noticed my base on the mainland has gone, and now he's at my starting base, and he's been taking it out. And it was a terrible time, because I've just produced this MCV, which was going to be used to transport, like, it to another part of that mainland. And now my main base is under threat, and there's just nothing I can do about it. There's too many naval units there. He's there. He can take out any naval yards to deploy, and unfortunately that for me, I'm sort of like locked in now. I can't do anything. What we're going to have to do though is rely on cyan. Is cyan going to be able to take anything up here? Because what's happening to me is sort of happening to blue as well. And now we're going to try and go for this main base here. Let's see if we can take it out. He has got some tanks there, but we'll just try and like take out the main parts. Hopefully cyan will be able to wipe it out. Just taking out a naval unit there. And I think our teammates just pointed to that, like, there's obviously that construction yard there that needs to go. So what cyan needs to do now is go for the construction yards and try and destroy it. And you can see a Tanya just coming into my base and killing the last few units. It's futile though, there's nothing I can really do here. I'm going to try and get my main base, keep my main base alive, because I do want that tech center so I can actually see what's going on in the map. But we can see red there with a transport ship. I wonder if it contains anything. Does he have an MCV there or something like that? But you can see those cruisers going back and just destroying the last of my buildings. And then my tech center goes down, unfortunately, so I have reduced map visibility. I will be able to see what my allies are doing though. And yeah, you can just see, my base is absolutely wrecked. I've lost my war factory. I've got, like a single construction yard. And I might have the funds actually to build a ore refinery. But as soon as I build one of those, then I'm going to lose that unit there. And I'm just having a bit of a look here. You can see cyan getting another MCV onto that middle island. And yeah, you can just see I've got some tanks here. What I'll do is I'll try and get some of it uncovered. I'll go back down to the bottom middle once again, because we can see cyan is there with his naval units, and he's going to be doing some destruction to that base there. And the question is, does blue have any base units left? I don't really know, because he's lost his... Obviously, he had his base at the starting position. He also had his base at the bottom middle, which is now gone. And I can't see if all the units have been destroyed, and there goes my MCV, so I am, like, sort of, like, officially... Well, I can't get back into the game, but now we can see that blue has established himself in the bottom right position. And yellow's just pointing there, and we can also see that red has some naval units around that area as well, in the form of cruisers. So that's going to make it very difficult for cyan to be able to push in. It could be very bad if they get a stronghold of naval units also in the middle of the map, because then they'll be able to control most of the main island. I'm just having a little bit of a look at what cyan has at the moment. He has a few bases dotted around, and there's some of my own naval units there. I'm still somehow in the game at the moment. I've only got like a couple of buildings left, I think, or maybe one. But I'm going to be out pretty soon. And now I've got full map visibility because of cyan's tech center. So that's worked out quite well for me, so at least I can see what's going on now. Once I get knocked out. But we can just see those naval units there from red. And we're trying to get a bit closer, but we can see that he's just firing on that. He's force firing on that destroyer. So there's no way that destroyer is going to survive. I'm just trying to take some of the fire at the moment, rather than the cruiser. I'm just having a bit of a look now. You can see that those naval units from red are strong. And that's going to make it very hard for Cyan to get close with his navy to attack Blue's base. So yeah, I might just take some of those ore trucks down. I may as well. They're not doing anything. And just have a little bit of a look. Obviously, Team is using gap generators. He's also got a tech center there. I don't know how much map visibility he'll have anyway. But now we're just going to put our tanks, our ore trucks in there. But you can just see now in producing pillboxes, he's also got the chrono tank, which does quite a bit of damage. And he's just damaging that ore truck. We're just trying to buy a little bit of time here. Hopefully my teammates will get in. And hopefully Red will fire on them and destroy those ore refineries actually with the cruisers. But he hasn't done that unfortunately. But yeah, just having a bit of a look there. And now I'm officially out of the game. You can see Teeve took a chrono tank and destroyed my last building on my main land. So yeah, you can just see that Teeve's being taken out of the bottom left position. So somehow he managed to sneak an MCV away and he's managed to re-establish his base. And now Red's got a naval force around that base. And Teeve's getting a bit annoyed with Red. He said he was a noob. I don't think he's very happy with the way he's playing. But he does have a naval force. And it is sort of like protecting his base, so he sort of is providing some value. But now we can see that Cyan is going with his naval force onto Red's main base in the bottom right-hand corner. He's managed to take out those two ore silos, and now he's going to be able to go for some of the other major buildings. The tech center goes down, and it looks like the chronosphere is going to go down, and also maybe another one of those construction yards. So taking out some major buildings there. And we can also see that Red is building helicopters, which aren't the best, I guess. But we'll see how they do against cruisers, actually. Doing quite a bit of damage there. So they might take out a cruiser with that play. I'm just having a look at where Cyan is at the moment. He doesn't have, like, a brilliant force. Although he does have a lot of tanks there. So we'll have to see what he decides to do with them. And I can just see that Red has a base there. Probably not the best idea to go for the cruisers with the tanks. What I would have done is I would have gone for the base that Red had just to the right of there, because that would have stopped his economy, and because he stopped the economy on the main island, that could have put him out of the game. But actually it's worked out not too badly. He has managed to take out that naval force, so it was a bit of a better move than I thought it would be. And now you can see that Teeve has got another MCV, and he's expanding a little bit more, and he's going to become very, very dangerous, possibly. So yeah, we've got Cyan now. He's got another MCV as well, and he's just expanding his economy. You can just see his ore on his started island has all run out, so he's just relying on this mainland now. I'm just having a bit of a look around. You can see that Red is still with his cruisers, and Teeve is just expanding as much as he can. Each time he sees a new ore patch, he's just sending an MCV over there to get an ore refinery deployed. And I think Cyan really should have got that, should have dealt with those red buildings by now in the middle island. Because they are going to be very, very dangerous and could play a big role later on. And the longer they leave it, the better the defences are going to be for it. They might have more naval units, they might have like a barracks or war factory of themselves. Or they might just have more base defences. But we are going to need to take out that those structures right now. The only problem is the mass naval units. And you can see Navy once again from Red. And he's taken out some of those Cyan tanks. And I do really think Cyan needs to go for that base. Because if he gets that base down, that would possibly halt Cyan's economy. So I do think this is a mistake from Cyan. I think he's been focusing far too much on those naval units, fighting his tanks with those naval units, rather than going for the kill on the base. And once he destroyed Red's base, he could have started putting pressure on Teeve's bases with his tanks. But yeah, it does seem like he's lost those tanks now, and he does seem to be in a bit of a difficult situation because he hasn't got any tanks on the map anymore, and his economy is okay. but it's not like the best. Yes, Cyan really needs to get on top of those buildings if he's going to do anything in this match. He needs to take Red out of the game, because the thing is, it's 2 against 1 at the moment, even though Red is a relatively new player. And now we can see that Teve has got some naval units in the middle of the map, and this spells big trouble for Cyan, who has 2 of his main bases that collected ore in that position. I'm also having a look at the main base of Red, and you can see in the starting position he's got another ore refinery out there, which is collecting resources. So he's managed to get another ore refinery on his main island. And now Teve has got on the Gem Island. How fortunes have changed. Cyan is at a major disadvantage now, I think. And unless he can get, well, he can't really get on that Gem Island. And now we can see Teve coming around with the cruisers, taking out some of the main base of Cyan. And now he's only got 1 base, like, collecting resources anymore, and that's just below Gem Island. And there's going to be cruisers coming up there soon as well. So I think this is just going to be a really good game for Cyan. There's just nothing at all he can do. He's also got Red there, just being annoying. He's got, yeah. Like, he's got his main base as well, but we'll have to wait and see. But those cruisers now coming in from Teve. And now he's going to be trying to take out the main buildings and also some of the tanks of Cyan. We could also see Red as well, just moving around. And now we can see Cyan. It looks like Cyan is going to go on the attack. Although he's parking on the bridge at the moment, which is very bad, because if he just parks his tanks up there, they're going to be destroyed by cruisers. Which, yeah, appears to be the case at the moment. So yeah, not great tactic there. What Cyan should be doing is doing anything but, like, keeping them still. He needs to keep them active and needs to go and attack other parts of the map. And just try and establish some sort of settlement there. But right now we can see that Cyan is going for the attack on Red finally. I think he should have done this a long time ago. I was surprised he didn't. And now we can see he's taken out the ore refinery, and he's probably going to be able to take out the construction yard as well, hopefully. But now we can see that Blue is back in there as well. And those ore refineries being destroyed in that. And I think that's all the ore refineries that Vomit Bag had. So that is, I think, well, except for his main base, which doesn't have much ore left. So I think that's pretty much going to be a good game. And you can see now he's selling up. He knows it is over. So that was the first game. We do have a second game, but what I'll do first is I'll just let you see the stats so you can see how everyone did. So, yeah, I was actually surprised that I was so high up third. So this is the second match. Again, it is a 3v3, and again, it was random teams. Now, funnily enough, I'm teamed with the exact same players. I've got Take You Down and I've got Vomit Bag on my team. Teve and Matthias, once again, are on the same team. However, Bem, who was playing as Red in the first game and they were complaining was a noob, is not in this game. In this game, we've got Gerben replacing Bem. So, that's a big difference in this. But yeah, it's just so strange that I've got exactly the same team and the other team is almost exactly the same except Gerben instead of Bem. Because Bem was not playing, so he couldn't be on their team. But now we're starting to get established in the middle. So this game, I've started in the middle, like sort of like the more top end. And that means I'm going to have to build tanks really early on and try and take control of this mainland. You can see I'm sending scouts all over the place at the moment, trying to find out who else is on the mainland and where is their base situated. So this is sort of like, you know, just normal rules of a land map at the moment. Yes, sir. Get your tanks set up and go on the attack. So let's have a look at where is the other players. Who's it going to be? Because it could be Gerben, it could be Teve, it could be Matthias. We don't know. And Gerben's actually a really good quick match player, so we'll have to hope it's not him in the middle. And hope he's on one of the outer islands where he might not be as strong. But now what I'm doing is I'm just doing a bit of a power plant crawl because I'm trying to get to that extra ore patch to the right of my base. Because what you don't want is you don't want too many ore trucks working on the same ore patch, because it becomes, it gets depleted very quickly and then you have to move on to another one, and it's just way less efficient. I'm just having a bit of a look there. I'm just pausing that ore truck there so it can go to the new ore refinery once I build it. And just getting my infantry around the map a little bit and having a bit of a look at the different areas. As well as trying to find the other player, it's also important to uncover as much as possible because I want to be able to see if any of the other players make landings with MCVs. And also what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to look at parts of the map I can expand to, which will be good for me. And now I'm placing a radar dome down so I'll be able to see very quickly if there's any other players expanding to different parts of the map. And now I'm taking my tanks round to go on the attack. We can see Matthias there with his tank on the middle island. There's also a crate there, so we'll see what that gets us. Hopefully it'll be something decent. It's just a soda used for submarine detection, I think. And now we're going to go down to the map because this is where Matthias' main base is. But as we go down there, we also see that Teve has deployed an MCV there, and we're going to chase that away. So yeah, that MCV being deployed at sort of the wrong time here, and we're going to be able to destroy that. Yeah, and it's going to go down. It looks like it's on yellow HP. It's now going to be on red, and it's going to go down. We can also see a red MCV from Gerben in the middle of the map as well. So we're going to try and take that down as well. So we've got a load of tanks on it, and we just need to take it out before he's able to get a war. Well, I was going to say before he gets a war factory. He's got a war factory now, but we've got too many tanks here, and it looks like we're going to be able to take that war factory down. He's trying to build barracks. What I'll do though is I'll take that ore refinery out first. And yeah, he's going to just build barracks and trying to spam infantry. We'll try and destroy the barracks first. And he's sold up. He's realised actually it's not going to work. And now that ore truck is completely useless. So taking out those extra bases, and now we can see that Matthias has had a chance to build up some tanks, but we've got the better tank numbers definitely. And now we're trying to push down. We're going to go through the bottleneck because we've just got so many more tanks than Matthias. We should be able to get through this. And yes, indeed we are. We're starting to destroy those tanks, and we just outnumber them too much. We've also got some infantry helping us, and now we're going to be able to go to Matthias' base in the bottom middle. But yet again, we see Teve with another MCV on the middle of the map, and he's trying to get some cruisers there, which are firing on my main base. Fortunately, what I've done though is I've produced an MCV, so I'm going to be able to take that further up the map. This time I produced the MCV in time, and now we're going to be going for Matthias' base. We can see a Tesla coil there. We can also see Teve with a tank there as well, but I think I've got the tank advantage. Let's see how this goes. Remember that Teve has got cruisers on my main base, so I might be struggling a little bit there. But now we're going to be able to take out Matthias' base, and I'm just going to get my MCV deployed further up the map, and I'm going to be getting sort of like established there. You can see I've lost my radar dome at the top part of the base, but you can see that Cyan there, our teammates, is destroying Teve's base on that part of the map as well, and it looks like they're in trouble. I've also got a ore refinery going up at the top there, so at least I've got established elsewhere, and we're just going to need to make sure. I think Matthias is like pretty much out of the game now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and like sort of like build some buildings like further up, just out of range of those cruisers. And now Matthias is out of the game, and I've got that radar dome up now, and we can see that Gerben once again has gone to the same position, and we're going to send our tanks in. We've got good tank numbers. We're taking out that construction yard, and Gerben has quit the game. Gerben landed for a second time and then deciding to quit out of the game. That means I'm going to be able to move my MCV over to that position. I do think it was like sort of like the wrong position to go for Gerben, because he was trying to like establish himself right next to my base. So it's going to be a place I'm easily able to get to, because you noticed in the first game, the first thing I did was send infantry down and have a look around, and to see where other players were. So to try and keep on establishing yourself at those places, I don't think that was the brightest idea. And now it's Teve on his own against us three. So Cyan's still in. take you down. Green is still in as well in the top right. And I'm still in the middle of the map. And I'm starting to establish MCVs in different parts as well, away from the cruisers that blue has. And what I need to do is just make sure I keep on top. I can't produce any more tanks. I mean, the tanks aren't the issue at the moment anyway. I've got loads of tanks. And you can see green's got loads of tanks as well. The issue is just the naval units in the middle there. You can see those cruisers bunched up, which are going to cause us a few problems. But what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get established here, because further down, because this is going to be right near to blue's base. And yeah, blue is just so annoyed at the moment with Gerben. You can see all three of us have now got a base next to each other at the top of the map. We've got Cyan, Green and myself. So yeah, we're just having a good time on the middle island. And we can see that blue team is on the bottom left island. And now we're just getting another oil refinery out. And I'm going to be starting to get some naval units. And we've also got green with some naval units there. And that cruiser isn't going to be able to do anything. Probably that naval yard is probably in a bit of a bad place. I'm probably going to need to rectify that. But yeah, just get an infantry guy out there. Try and get that crate. Let's see if it's something good. Just extra firepower, which isn't going to help that infantry guy. Yeah, we're going to need to get rid of that naval yard because it's in a terrible place. But now we're going to be able to go for that bottom left-hand corner and start taking out some of the structures there. And yeah, you can just see another sub-pen going up there from Matthias. And now he's selling it. And just getting an extra power plant there, getting some silos in as well. I actually could go for the Gem Island as well if I wanted to, but I've got like loads of ore at the moment, so there's no real need. So what I'm doing is I'm building those silos down there, so I can build a naval yard a bit lower down, so I'm not blocking that like whole passageway, and I can get all my naval units in. And now I'm starting to build cruisers, and those cruisers are going to be able to just take out those last buildings. And I think we can see where this is going. There's no way they're going to be able to, like, come back from this. Now, I mean, Gerben left. He probably should have stayed and fought, because if we remember rightly, it looked like we were in a much better position in the last game, and we still lost. So the same thing could have happened this game, possibly. I mean, it was unlikely, because the thing that Teeve did have, though, is he did have control of the middle with some naval units. So if Gerben had stayed in the game and maybe deployed in a different location, then he could have provided some... I think what he should have done is, in his first deployment, instead of going next to my base, he should have gone in the top middle. And if he'd been in the top middle, I was going for Matthias, so he possibly would have got away with it. So I think that's probably the big mistake that was made. It just seems ironic that last game they complained about the noob, well, they were calling Bem a noob, and then Gerben joined them, who was obviously a very good player, and then it's been a completely different game. I also do think the players were more suited to their starting positions, because I started in the middle place, and I'm probably like more of a tank player, so it was probably like good for me being in that, like, on that main island. Both my teammates are strong players as well, but it looks like that it's just a matter of time that construction yard is going to go down, and that is good game. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.